I'm so glad. And you're not going to believe this. Trust me, I am overjoyed and elated to the point I have a tingling in my trousers. North Yorkshire Police have made a public apology for any historical discriminatory behaviour that the members of the LGBTQ plus community were subjected to by any member of the force. How lovely, how very woke of them, and how very sickening. You can clearly tell that I was being sarcastic at the beginning of this video. Basically, Peter Tatchell, director of the Peter Tatchell Foundation, which on their homepage says is speaking out for human rights, although if you know who Peter Tatchell is, then you'll know he's only speaking out for human rights when it's his favourite minorities. Anyway, Tatchell asked police forces to apologise for their historical treatment of the LGBTQ plus community. I mean, fucking hell, Peter, what do you want from them? They already adorn themselves in rainbows and fucking fairy dust multiple times a year, as it is, wasting police time to attend and participate in pride marches up and down the country, when in fact there is very little crime committed against the alphabetti spaghetti lot at these marches anyway. And to be fair, when there is, it's mostly the inappropriate display of people acting out sexual acts, dressed in clothes that are inappropriate and dragging children along to help indoctrinate them into thinking that they can have more fun in life if they choose to be gay or trans. Now I know some of you will not like that statement, so let me elaborate. I think we know that some children know they are different from a young age, or at least feel different. The problem is their tiny little minds haven't yet developed fully, and as hormones start to flood the body, it's a very confusing time for young people. They should be left to decide and see how they want to be as they grow up, but I see thousands of people forcing homosexuality and transsexuality onto children because the parents don't have a token black child and so want a token LGBTQ child instead, which is insane. Tatchell has obviously seen the apologetic police forces in England and Wales bending the knee for BLM and thought he would get in on the action. I mean, we all know that things were very different in the past. There were societal norms that everyone was subjected to, from being taught at school to adverts on the TV. So of course, just like people of today see gay relationships as a pretty normal thing to expect, back in the day, nobody really did. So we all had our own ideas on what's right and what's not, just like the slavery trade. Although the slavery trade was initiated by blacks and Middle Eastern people slaving their own way before the whites got in on the action, but of course nobody wants to talk about that these days, do they? What I'm saying is that however society was decades ago is not the fault of the people who now generally run things. And things are nowhere near as bad as they were for minority groups. In fact, it's people like me, not actually me because I don't go out enough to get into trouble, but people like me, white British heterosexual males, are the ones who are most mistreated these days. But nobody's going to apologise for that shit, and it's still happening today. But we're expected to apologise for history when we had fuck all to do with it. How woke. Anyway, North Yorkshire Police, just like the good little dogs they are, did in fact issue an apology to the LGBTQ community. And reading the article, it's very clear why North Yorkshire Police issued a statement, as I haven't heard of any others going this far yet. Acting Chief Constable Elliot Foskett, who himself is a bisexual man, hence why I think this apology was issued by the force, and I've not seen or heard any other forces do it, said this.
Hello everybody, I'm Acting Chief Constable Elliot Foskett of North Yorkshire Police.
Hello everybody, I'm Superintendent Ed Hayward-Noble. I'm North Yorkshire Police's Strategic Lead for LGBTQ+.
We're here today because I'm responding to a request for an apology relating to the way that North Yorkshire Police historically treated our LGBTQ+ communities. So as the Chief Constable, it's for me to unreservedly apologise for the hurt and damage historically caused by North Yorkshire Police to our LGBTQ+ communities. We're a very different force these days. We've changed a lot, society has changed and we've changed with it. And I know that the actions of North Yorkshire Police way back then absolutely had a significant impact on our gay communities, and historically it's damaged the trust and confidence that our LGBTQ+ communities have in North Yorkshire Police. We are committed to changing. We're absolutely committed to being an inclusive force, and that starts with the steps that we're taking today.
We've got an active LGBTQ+ network within our force. which supports colleagues to be themselves in the workplace and also provides support and engagement with our communities. We've taken part in local pride marches for a number of years right across the county in York, Harrogate and Scarborough and Skipton as well. And we know that this is welcomed by the organisers and by participants as well. And it's really important that we're visible as an organisation to all our communities. It's an opportunity for us to demonstrate to our work colleagues as well that we welcome them, bringing the whole of themselves into the workplace, and that we're a fully inclusive organisation now.
Thanks, Ed. So I hope that the apology that I've made today goes some way to start to repair that relationship and that damage that was caused in the past. We recognise how impactful that has been, but we remain committed as an organisation to being fully inclusive and fully representative of all of our communities. So again, on behalf of North Yorkshire Police, I apologise and thank you for listening.
Thank you.
Now, I've got absolutely no issues with making apologies for acts that you have committed yourself, mistakes that you have made yourself, but apologising for something that is far better now than it's ever been and happened 40, 50, 60, 100, 200 years ago, and were acts or mistakes made by people who aren't even around anymore or who lived in a very different time, simply makes people look weak. And as a police force pandering to minority groups when you are to be completely impartial and respect all people, simply helps to strengthen that divide that we see between the general public and the police. People need to understand and learn that our forefathers were the ones who lived in a time when much of society wasn't accustomed to the way that we live today. That's on them, not us. It's not our fault and we are not to blame. The fact that people were discriminated against is horrible and no one should be discriminated against, but again, not our fault and not the fault of those born in the 60s or 70s. And that goes for both of the aforementioned types of discrimination, and making a big deal out of it does nothing to hold the argument that LGBTQ just wants to live their lives like everyone else. In fact, it puts emphasis on how they, and black people whose ancestors may have been discriminated against in horrific ways, actively want to be different and to be treated better than everyone else. And when it comes to the police, goes completely against the oath that they take. So I think this display of wokeness does nothing but harm the police force in the eyes of the wider public. Now, of course, those are my opinions, by the way. I've already had someone recently tell me in a comment on my video that I'm full of racist connotations, but has yet to provide me with any examples that I've asked him for. I believe everybody is entitled to an opinion and to share that opinion without fear. We are, as sentient human beings, have a choice. We either listen or not. Now, for me, that means I could simply delete comments that I don't agree with. Some YouTubers do. I never have. It means I could turn off my comments under the videos. Some YouTubers do. I never had. So if you agree or not, let's not turn against one another and fight and call each other names. Let's have a rational and adult conversation about it. I'm open to changing my opinions based on new evidence, and I welcome it. However, if all you can do is call someone a bigot, a homophobe, transphobe or racist, then you've lost your argument before you've even begun. And I will not engage in those kind of debates. Thank you very much for watching. Please give us a thumbs up and share your thoughts in the comments below. It really helps if you share these reports, so don't forget to subscribe. So don't forget to share and subscribe as well, and I'll see you in the next video.